Whether you're a new climber looking to climb the next grade or just someone interested in the nuance of climbing grades, this video is going to focus on rope climbing and the differences you could expect at the harder grades. I'll go over 5 different climbs from 5.9 to 5.11 minus and try to break down some of the movement and hold types that you could see at the different grades. Feel free to skip around using the timestamps below. So this climbing session was initially going to be a bouldering session, but my back was hurting from a deadlifts I did the day before, so turned into auto belays. First climb is going to be the 5.9, featuring a lot of handle jugs, which were different than you usually see on a climb to feature so many of them. So already you can see there's a lot of foot options. Bump move. Only one flag so far. So 5.9 grade at this height and being fairly vertical is going to be mostly jugs. So match in, bump out right. Again, good feet the whole time. Standing on those handles might seem sketchy at first, but they're so big it's almost like a volume. Another flag. So something you might expect going from 5.8 to 5.9 is just flagging more to find the body position. But also in my style of climbing, I don't necessarily like to do foot swaps, so I'll step through and flag instead. But this grade, there shouldn't be too many foot matches. On to the 10 minus. This one features a really cool layback sequence with all like the same jug, so aesthetically it looks nice. So a little matching here. Also, pretty juggy route. Grip isn't really a factor in this grade. Plenty of foot options. Yeah, definitely be prepared for some bumps and matches. Wall press just because it felt less physical than matching into there. And then here comes that layback sequence. So now you'll see that this is going to force body position a little bit more. So finding that balance, twisting the hips. But again, a lot of feet, so you're not doing too much flagging other than in that layback sequence. And then next up is the 5.10. This one I could already tell you there's going to be more foot matches. Holds are getting a little smaller too. Still very in-cut though, so you could get your fingers around it being an in-cut hold. There's one foot match. Another one right there. So already more foot matching in this grade than the other two lower grades. Little lock off with the left arm, which is a bit more physical than the moves in the previous two climbs. Also, as you get into like 5.10, like solid 5.10, 5.10 plus, really understanding route reading will help. Just understanding if you're gonna bump a hand versus trying to cross through, seeing what direction it's in versus the direction of the hold afterwards. Some step through. Again, kind of like having hands in a line, forcing more balance. But again, the hands were smaller, but still like nothing that you grab and you're like, oh, this is awful. So here is the 10 plus. So a little bit more slopey hand, so harder to hold. Flagging out. Heel in, so this is the first heel we've seen in any of these climbs, so more advanced footwork. Matching in, bumping right hand. That could be a hard one to read if you're not reusing that one hold. Again, more flagging, more twisting of the hips. This left hand's a sloper, which wasn't so great. And then a lot of these holds are smaller in-cut holds. So still in-cut, not like full flat crimp, but definitely probably like one pad. Again, more bumping. And right now you'll notice the feet, we're gonna be reusing the hands, so the directionality isn't always gonna feel the best. So more toeing into it. Right here, you can see toeing in. Next one, also toe in. So the angle is not like in opposition of your body. Again, toe in. These are also more slopey up here, these holds. Another heel. So a little bit more technical with the footwork and just shifting your hips. All right, here is the hardest climb, the 11 minus. Has a lot of slopers here. And slopers are the type of hold like to match can be pretty challenging. So figuring out if you're gonna bump or match into it. Here was a big move, so a high step for me, and then crossing over, so more balance. Foot swap. Reusing some holds that were lower. Again, this is a big sloper, so matching in or bumping as an option. More balance here, that little bit of a press. And then this right hand is a pretty bad blocked crimp. Finding the balance to move up. This crimp is pretty small too. And then the right one's even smaller, but you have this big sloper to step on to get the weight off your hands. So now just forcing yourself to use more of that finger strength in this climb. A lot of stepping through, just getting the weight on your hands, especially like in this more slabby vertical section with the holds being smaller. Just finding the weight, trying to get the weight off the hands and into the feet. Yeah, more crossing, hands in line with the center of your body, making the balance a little harder. All right, so some takeaways from that. In the harder grades, footwork is gonna be more essential. You're not gonna have those feet where you're pushing straight into it, but it's gonna be more almost like pulling. You have harder grips, so whether that's slopers or smaller crimps, understanding the body position you'll need to be in to make those holds feel better than they actually are. Again, using the footwork. You can see more heels like in that 10 plus, more foot swaps. So getting used to swapping feet, maybe even forcing yourself to do it on those easier grades is gonna help you feel more comfortable in the harder grades. And then in terms of route reading, as you climb more, you'll get a better understanding of, is this gonna be a bump or should I match into it? Something you'll get with more experience, but just reading the direction of the hold you're going to and then the following hold after that. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about climbing grades in this video. If you'd like to see more videos like this where I do some climbing comparison and commentary, definitely be sure to let me know in the comments. And if you want to see a little bit of the behind the scenes process of setting her out, be sure to check out my last video.